Good afternoon. An announcement for ASL viewers. Due to the importance of showing unobstructed videos, we ask that our ASL viewers use the WebEx link provided in the description of the live stream. For viewers who would like this town hall meeting translated, please click on the WebEx link in the live stream description and click on the icon in the bottom left corner to select your preferred language.
Good afternoon. We're here today for a virtual town hall regarding an officer-involved shooting that occurred on Monday, January 27, 2025 at Mission and 9th Streets. Before proceeding, I'd like to announce to our viewing audience and listening audience that this town hall is being translated into Spanish, Cantonese, and American Sign Language, ASL, for members of our community who speak those languages. Without suggesting a premature judgment on the appropriateness of the force used in this incident, today's presentation will include details from an officer-involved shooting incident that resulted in the death of 34-year-old Chiasarak Chong. In the San Francisco Police Department, we recognize that our sworn duty as law enforcement officers imposes no more solemn obligation on us than to honor and respect the sanctity of human life. We also know that as police officers, we are sometimes required to use force, including deadly force, at times, in the performance of our duties. We recognize, too, that officer-involved shootings can have traumatic effects on members of our communities, especially for individuals, their families, and loved ones who have suffered traumas of their own in encounters with the criminal justice system, wherever it may be. To any of our viewers experiencing trauma from this incident, or from the information or images that we will present during this town hall, please know that help is available to you. You may contact the San Francisco Department of Public Health's crisis line at 415-970-3800 for trauma services. Here's what we hope to accomplish today. First and foremost, it is the San Francisco Police Department's aspiration to be a national model of 21st century policing. We work to earn the trust of those we serve by committing to transparency and to the tenets of procedural justice. In this process and in town hall presentations. Procedural justice depends on the legitimacy of police as well as our entire criminal justice system. With these town halls, we work to embody the foundational tenets of what procedural justice is all about. We will release the facts known to us at this time about this incident. We will try to do so in a manner that is impartial and neutral. We will answer questions from members of the public as well as members of the news media, and we will listen to public feedback. Acting Commander Mark M. will be presenting the facts of this case in a few minutes. Before turning the floor over to him, however, I want to emphasize that this incident is subject to multiple independent and ongoing investigations. As such, there may be some information that we cannot release at this time, either because the release of certain information is prohibited by law or because the release of certain information could compromise an ongoing investigation or because certain facts have not yet been established with certainty. In other words, we are not able to release unconfirmed information. Next, Acting Commander Mark M.'s presentation will include a detailed verbal narrative of the facts as we know them, as well as audio and video content from the officer-involved shooting incident. SFPD officers who responded to the scene were wearing department-issued body-worn cameras, which were activated while they were on their way to the incident. Consistent with our body-worn camera policy, Department General Order 10.11, you will see body-worn camera or BWC video from those officers from multiple perspectives. At the San Francisco Police Department, our commitment to full transparency has guided our officer-involved shooting investigations and town halls for several years now. Although our practices predate the enactment of many police transparency and accountability laws in California, we believe our approach has remained consistent with the letter and spirit of reforms implemented by Senate Bill 1421 for police transparency and Assembly Bill 1506 for police accountability. SFPD's commitment to transparency in this process will also be reflected in our release of information online. Videos from this town hall, including audio recordings from 911 calls and dispatchers, and the video footage I just mentioned will be posted on SFPD's website at sanfranciscopolice.org. It will remain available there for public viewing. As a reminder, All of SFPD's governing policies and procedures can also be found on our website. San Francisco Police Department directives mandate that we release the names of officers from officer-involved shootings unless safety concerns argue against disclosure. In this matter, we identified no safety concerns, and Acting Commander Mark M. will release the name of the officer as part of his presentation. Now I would like to explain the investigative processes for an officer-involved shooting. The San Francisco Police Department has a multi-agency response to the officer-involved shooting incidents, and each agency's investigation is independent. Whenever an officer-involved shooting occurs in San Francisco involving an on-duty San Francisco police officer, the following agencies are immediately notified. The SFPD's Investigative Services Detail, or ISD, is the unit responsible for investigating the events that led up to the officer-involved shooting. The SFPD's Internal Affairs Division, or IAD, is responsible for conducting an administrative investigation to determine if the officers or officers responsible for the OIS are in compliance with the standards and requirements of SFPD policy. Although the investigations of both SFPD units run in parallel, each has a distinct investigative purview and focus. Each maintains a strict internal firewall to comply with legal standards and requirements. The San Francisco Department of Police Accountability, or DPA, conducts an independent administrative investigation. San Francisco voters created DPA as a successor to the Office of Citizen Complaints with their passage of Proposition D in the June 2016 election. DPA investigates all SFPD incidents in which any of our officers discharge a weapon within the course and scope of their duties, and whenever that discharge results in an individual's injury or death. The San Francisco District Attorney's Office Independent Investigations Bureau, or IIB, is responsible for determining the legality of the officer-involved shooting. Based on their independent investigation and review, the District Attorney of the County of San Francisco will make the final decision as to whether the officers' involved actions comply with the laws of the state of California. All notified agencies dispatched investigators and appropriate personnel to begin their respective and independent investigations on this incident. Finally, I'd like to point out that we take community feedback very seriously. Based on the feedback from prior officer-involved shooting town halls, we will also take questions and answer them to the extent we're able, understanding that this incident remains an ongoing investigation. We will allocate 1 hour for public comments and questions. Thank you very much for joining us today, and now, Acting Commander Mark M.
The officer-involved shooting, or OIS, discussed in this presentation occurred on Monday, January 27, 2025, at approximately 9:24 p.m. The OIS was preceded by a shooting that took place earlier on the same day at approximately 4:50 p.m. Medics who were passing by witnessed the shooting and rendered medical aid along with other bystanders. Responding officers contacted a witness who was driving northbound on 9th Street who observed a male standing over and yelling at another male who was lying on the sidewalk. The witness then saw the male fire several rounds at the male on the ground before walking into 81 9th Street. After interviewing witnesses and reviewing video surveillance footage from the area, officers tracked the suspect to the 6th floor of 81 9th Street. During their investigation, officers located the suspect who had barricaded himself inside an apartment. While attempting to establish communication with the suspect and place him under arrest, an OIS occurred. In this presentation, you will hear the following police terminology and radio code language commonly used by officers. 221 is a person with a gun. 217 is a shooting. 408 is an ambulance. 909 is meet with a citizen. A priority are calls for service that involve serious incidents. These are emergency calls that require a rapid response because there may be an immediate threat to life or a substantial risk of major property loss or damage. Blue on blue is a term used by officers to alert each other of potential crossfire. BWC is body-worn camera. Crisis Hostage Negotiations Team is often referred to as CHNT, whose members are officers and sergeants who receive specialized training to assist in resolving incidents through communications such as crisis and hostage situations, barricaded individuals, high-risk suicide threats, and high-risk warrant service. Critical incident is a life-threatening situation that requires a coordinated tactical response in a specific location. Examples include barricaded individuals, hostage situations, and active attacker incidents. A full list of critical incidents can be found in Department General Order 8.01. Dispatch is the Department of Emergency Management dispatcher and radio communication system. Extended Range Impact Weapon, or 40mm launcher, is a less lethal force option. Specialist team and tactical unit members use this weapon to deploy a projectile such as a 40mm foam baton or pepper ball chemical agent. These are designed to temporarily incapacitate an individual. Kinetic Breaching Tool, or KBT, is a specialized device used to force entry into a locked or reinforced door. Specialist, or SPEC, is a member of the SFPD Specialist Team, which is an on-call specialized unit within the Special Operations Bureau consisting of officers and sergeants trained in responding to high-priority crimes in progress, resolving critical incidents, dignitary protection, crowd control, waterborne operations, and assisting the tactical unit with high-risk warrant service. Tactical unit, often referred to as TAC or SWAT, is a full-time specialized unit within the Special Operations Bureau, trained in responding to high-risk incidents. Tactical Emergency Medics, or TEMS, are San Francisco Fire Department members embedded within the San Francisco Police Department's tactical unit to immediately render medical aid at the scene of critical incidents, active shooter incidents, and high-risk warrant services. The precise chronology of this incident is currently under investigation. We are still in the very early stages of an administrative investigation that can take months to complete, and our understanding of the incident may change as additional evidence is collected and reviewed. The items presented are approximate. The following is a summary of the events as they are understood today and may evolve as further information is learned through the investigation. As of February 4th, 2025, we believe the facts are as follows. On Monday, January 27th, 2025, at approximately 4:50 p.m., officers responded to the area of Mission and 9th Streets regarding a shooting that just occurred. On scene, officers located a witness who was driving northbound on 9th Street when he observed the shooting. The witness told officers he observed a male standing over another male who was laying on the sidewalk and then fired several rounds at the victim. The witness then saw the suspect walk into 81 9th Street. Officers escorted the victim as he was transported to the hospital by ambulance. The victim told officers he was standing in front of 79 9th Street when a male approached him riding a black electric bicycle. After coming to a stop, the male got off the bike and walked directly toward him. The victim told officers the suspect pointed a firearm at him and shot him several times. The victim described the suspect as an Asian male wearing a baseball hat and black clothing. Multiple officers from surrounding districts responded as backup, secured a perimeter, and evacuated surrounding units that were occupied. Members from the tactical unit also responded to assist. Other responding officers reviewed video surveillance footage and were able to obtain a detailed description of the suspect, including that he was armed with a firearm. While watching the video surveillance footage, officers observed the victim standing on the sidewalk when the suspect approached him on foot. The suspect pulled out a firearm from his waistband with his right hand and walked toward the victim with the firearm lowered at his side. As the suspect walked toward the victim, he raised the firearm with his right hand while simultaneously raising his left hand to grip the firearm. The suspect discharged the firearm toward the victim, who reacted by raising his arms in a defensive position. The victim's body jerked and he fell to the ground. The suspect continued to advance toward the victim as he continued to discharge his firearm while standing over the victim who was lying on the sidewalk. Based on the video surveillance footage, officers tracked the suspect as he walked into 81 9th Street and determined that the suspect entered Unit 607 or 608. After further investigation, officers were able to identify the suspect as Chiesarak Chong, who lived in apartment 608. Once officers determined Mr. Chong had not exited his apartment, a lieutenant from Tenderloin Station declared a critical incident. Officers assigned to the Crisis Hostage Negotiation Team, Specialist Team, and additional members of the Tactical Unit responded to the scene. Officers began to formulate a plan to communicate with and take Mr. Chong safely into custody. crisis hostage negotiators made numerous attempts to contact Mr. Chong for approximately 2 hours, but Mr. Chong did not respond and remained non-compliant. Members of the specialist team and tactical unit responded to the roof of 81 9th Street in an attempt to obtain a visual into the unit Mr. Chong was located. Members of the tactical unit made numerous announcements from the front door. Members of the tactical unit made the following announcement, quote, San Francisco Police, search warrant, resident of 81 9th Street, room 608, come out the front door with your hands up, you are under arrest. If you don't come out, force can and will be used. Mr. Chong responded by yelling, quote, get out of my building. A member from the tactical unit who is located on the roof of 81 9th Street deployed two 40mm foam baton projectiles from the roof of the building into Mr. Chong's window in an attempt to gain a tactical advantage and visual of Mr. Chong. Mr. Chong discharged his firearm from within his apartment at officers who were on the roof of 81 9th Street. After several seconds, a member from the tactical unit returned fire and an OIS occurred. A member from the tactical unit continued to give call-outs and offered medical aid to Mr. Chong with no response. Live video feed from a drone revealed that Mr. Chong was not moving and laying on the kitchen floor with a rifle slung on his body. Officers used the drone to assist in clearing the apartment. A member from the tactical unit deployed rounds from a kinetic breaching tool at Mr. Chong's front door to gain access into his apartment. At approximately 10 p.m., members from the tactical unit entered Mr. Chong's apartment with a tactical medic who assessed Mr. Chong's injury and determined that he was deceased. The suspect in this incident is Chiasarak Chong, and his date of birth is November 15, 1990. Crime scene investigators from the San Francisco Police Department Forensic Services Division responded and collected physical evidence from the scene, including but not limited to the following items: 2 SFPD 40mm foam baton projectiles. The following seized items belong to Mr. Chong: 1 Smith & Wesson M&P 15 rifle with 1 magazine loaded with 23 .223 caliber cartridges, 1 magazine loaded with 30 .223 caliber cartridges, 1 magazine loaded with 27 .223 caliber cartridges, 1 Sig Sauer SP 2022 semi-automatic handgun, 1 Glock 17 handgun with 1 magazine loaded with 1 9mm cartridge, 1 Rock Island semi-automatic handgun with 1 magazine loaded with 8 .45 caliber cartridges, 10 9mm unfired cartridges, 1 9mm magazine, 1 magazine loaded with 10 9mm cartridges, 1 ballistic armor vest, 5 .223 caliber fire cartridge casings, and 2 .223 caliber unfired cartridges. Officers on scene were wearing department-issued body-worn cameras, which were activated during the incident. The body-worn cameras recorded the events as they unfolded. The Independent Investigations Bureau, or IIB, is an independent unit within the San Francisco District Attorney's Office that investigates and reviews all officer-involved shootings. Any relevant video footage or photographs can be provided to IIB by calling 628-652-4420 or by email at sfda-iib@sfgov.org. All witnesses and victims from these incidents are encouraged to call IIB at 628-652-4420. The SFPD officer who discharged his firearm in this incident is Officer David Edgerson, a member assigned to the tactical unit. The officer who discharged his firearm is a member of the SFPD tactical unit. Tactical unit members undergo specialized intensive training that far exceeds the standard requirements for police officers. This includes advanced firearm proficiency, tactical operations, and de-escalation techniques. Their training is specifically focused on responding to high-priority crimes in progress and resolving critical incidents. It prepares them to handle the most dangerous and complex situations, such as armed suspects, active attackers, and high-risk warrant service. Prior to joining the tactical unit, this officer was also a member of the department's specialist team. The SFPD tactical unit collaborates closely with the crisis hostage negotiation team to resolve incidents. All tactical unit members are trained in crisis intervention training. Additionally, the tactical unit plays a key role in instructing recruits at the police academy, providing training in critical mindset, coordinated response, active attacker scenarios, and other essential skills. Today's presentation is provided in a multimedia format. In an effort to provide a transparent and comprehensive perspective of this incident, the SFPD will provide audio from the 911 call, surveillance video footage, BWC footage, crime scene investigation photos, maps, and related visual aids. Our presentation today consists of relevant known video and audio at this time, but it is not intended to provide all photos, videos, or testimonial information related to this investigation. I will now provide a presentation of this incident using these multimedia sources. As select points to increase the clarity for viewers, certain videos have been enhanced and slowed down to allow for a better understanding of this incident. Please note that this presentation, the enhanced videos, and the unedited videos will all be available on the SFPD website immediately following this town hall event. SFPD policies can also be located on the SFPD website. Prior to the beginning of each segment, I will provide a brief description to orient the viewer to the time, place, and location of the content about to be shown. You are about to see relevant video footage and learn about other evidence related to this case so you can have a better understanding of what occurred based upon what we know right now. A word of caution, the images and information you are about to see and hear may be disturbing. When a police officer uses force to arrest a suspect or defend against attack, the images are graphic and may be difficult to watch. In addition, there may be strong language used by those in the video. Viewer discretion is advised, especially for young children and sensitive viewers. We encourage those in need of support to contact the San Francisco Department of Public Health Crisis Line at 415-970-3800. On January 27, 2025, at approximately 4:54 p.m., the Department of Emergency Management received multiple 911 calls reporting a shooting in front of 79 9th Street. We will now play a 911 call from a witness who saw the victim shot numerous times and the suspect fleeing in a building on the same block. Some personal information provided by the caller has been redacted to protect their privacy.
San Francisco 911, what's the exact location?
I don't know what to do. Help, please.
Where are you, ma'am?
Please, someone's been shot. 79 9th Street. He's just been shot in the head.
Repeat that address.
79 9th Street.
What's the cross street? What's the cross street?
Mission and Market. He went upstairs into the building.
He went into the building?
He shot in the head twice. He went into 81 9th Street.
The suspect or the victim?
The suspect. The victim's on the sidewalk, and some people are helping him, and they're putting a compression on his head.
Okay.
Like,
go ahead and give me a description of the shooter, okay?
The shooter was a black guy, slim, wearing all black. I think he had a beanie on. There were a lot of people on the street, 30s,
30 years, 25 to 30. How tall was he?
Taller than me, and I'm 5'6".
Okay, so wait, taller than 5'6"?
Yeah.
All right, what kind of gun did he have?
A handgun, black handgun.
He just walked up to him and shot him?
He just walks up, shot him. I have it on camera. We have cameras directly where the guy got shot.
Flag the officers down, okay? Don't hang up on me, though.
Yeah.
Where did he go?
Hang up. I got officers. The suspect went into the building. He
You
went
know what floor?
upstairs.
Upstairs in the
I
building?
don't know what for. Other people said he went in. I got the shot victim right here. The police are here.
Talk to the officers, okay?
Okay, I will.
Thank you.
We will now play a 911 call from a witness who was assisting the shooting victim in front of 79 9th Street.
San Francisco 911, what's the location of your emergency?
Between Mission and Market on 9th Street, somebody got shot.
Okay, do you see the police? Well, we have the police around. Did you see who was shooting?
What?
Did you see who was shooting?
No, I just came over here. No.
Okay, are you with the victim right now?
Yes, he's right here.
Okay, where is he shot at?
He got shot in the back of the neck.
You said the back of the neck?
The back and his neck.
Okay, give me 1 second.
All right. Hey, you're still Martin. Here, come here.
The police are en route and the paramedics are en route. Can anybody apply pressure? Do you guys see the police out there?
Yeah, I see it. Right here.
Okay, flag them down.
Hang on, bud. Come on.
Flag them down.
Come down, buddy. Open your eyes, bud.
Somebody apply pressure to his wound.
I will this. You're a purpose.
Okay, do you guys see the police?
Yes, they're here already.
Okay, all right, we can disconnect.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
We will now play a 911 call from a witness who saw a male victim shot numerous times by a male, possibly Hispanic. This recording has been trimmed for brevity with no changes to its substance.
San Francisco 911, exact location of the emergency.
Yeah, so I just made it home, but I was walking home from work, and as I was walking home at 9th and Mission, I saw someone shoot someone. I think he shot him sounded like about 6 times.
I'm sorry, what are the streets one more time?
The streets, it was right past 9th and Mission, so 9th between Mission and Market.
Do you remember what the shooter looked like?
Yeah, he was heavier set. He had a hat on. It looked like he had glasses on, eyeglasses.
Was he black, white, Latin, Asian?
I would say he looked more Latin.
About how tall? 5 feet, 6 feet?
Yeah, it was hard to tell. I would maybe somewhere in between those two.
About how old? 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s?
Maybe 30s, late 30s, mid 30s.
Small, medium, or heavy build?
Heavy build.
Heavy build. And what color was that hat?
Gosh, I want maybe I'm not sure. I can't say.
No worries. What color shirt or jacket?
Likewise, I don't know. I didn't really see too well. Basically, what I saw was I saw him standing over the guy. He shot him really casually, just standing upright, boom, 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 and I missed the first shot, but when I looked, I saw him finish off his last 3 or 4, and the guy was already on the ground. It looked like a white guy with long sweatpants on, and he was kind of shaking a bit. And
okay, it looks like we have multiple officers on scene. Thank you so much for calling.
You're about to hear the radio transmission from the AMR medic who was driving by and witnessed the shooting.
16 AMR 108. Unknown age male just got shot on Mission and 9th. There is a man next to him still with a gun. Need PD code 3 and a ambulance code 3.
Absolutely, 108, stand by.
You're about to hear a recording of the call for service for the shooting incident as broadcast by dispatch to responding officers.
Southern 4 Priority 217, Mission and 9th. AMR 108 on duty, 217, Mission and 9th, unit to back. Someone was shot in the head. There's a 408 en route. Suspect went into 81 9th Street. We're waiting on a description. Suspect is black male, 25 to 30, thin, taller than 5'6", beanie, black clothing, black handgun.
97 calls, yeah, now it's in the suspect. Suspect is in 81 9th Street. Let's get a unit here with a shield. And I'm waiting to
John 97 Charlie advising on the 217. The suspect is at 81 9th Street.
99 said he went into 81 9th Street, out the back fire escape, went down to the 3rd floor.
Advising on the 217. The suspect went into 81 9th Street, went out the back fire escape. I want the DA checking the back area on 9th Street. Units be aware of blue on blue.
We will now display a geographical map to illustrate the general area of the shooting incident on the unit block of 9th Street, along with its location in relation to the officer-involved shooting. The map will show a Google satellite perspective as well as a Google Earth view. We will now show BWC footage as well as video surveillance footage from security cameras. I will introduce each video prior to playing it. Timestamps displayed on BWC footage are in Coordinated Universal Time, or UTC. We are now going to play video surveillance footage showing the suspect riding and parking his bicycle before approaching the victim on foot. As the suspect walked toward the victim, he pulled a handgun from his right waistband, pointed it at the victim, and fired multiple shots at close range. We are now going to play video surveillance footage tracking the suspect entering 81 9th Street and walking up to the stairs to the 6th floor. Based on the surveillance footage, it was determined that the suspect entered Unit 607 or 608. We are now going to play BWC footage of an officer who deployed 2 non-lethal 40mm foam baton projectiles.
Good to go.
Sending full.
Good visual inside. I don't see any movement yet.
Keep sending it out.
To the right, east to the right, east to the
1-on-1, 2 rounds. Sent.
To the right.
He
He's
shoot?
in that room. He's in that room
Yeah.
right there.
He shot. Shots fired.
I can't see him. He's on the right. I can see something on the right.
4 Tom 101. Here. Shots fired. We're getting shot at. You got that third window to the corner.
Hey, let me know when it's clear.
I just shot. Shots fired. Let me know when it's return fire. Stand by.
We are now going to play an enhanced version of the BWC footage we just viewed, which has also been slowed down. The enhancements highlight the deployment of the 40mm foam baton projectiles, followed by the suspect firing shots, and then the officer returning fire.
Keep sending it out.
To the right, east to the right, east to the
1-on-1,
right.
2 rounds. Sent.
To the right.
He
He's
shoot?
in that room. He's in that room
Yeah.
right there.
He shot. Shots fired.
I can't see him. He's on the right. I can see something on the right.
4 Tom 101. Here. Shots fired. We're getting shot at. You got that
We are now going to play BWC footage from the officer who discharged his department-issued patrol rifle. At the beginning of the video, the first 2 bangs heard are from the deployment of the 40mm foam baton projectiles, followed by the suspect firing shots, and then the officer returning fire.
Send it out.
To the right, east to the right, east to the right.
1-on-1, 2 rounds. Sent.
To the right. He's in that room. He's in that room right there.
Shots fired.
I can't see him. He's on the right. I can see something on the right.
4 Tom 101. Here. Shots fired. We're getting shot at. You got that third window to the corner. Hey, let me know when it's clear.
I just shot.
Shots fired. Let me know when it's return fire. Stand by. Turn the light off.
We are now going to play an enhanced version of the BWC footage we just viewed, which has also been slowed down.
Good visual inside. I don't see any movement yet. Keep sending it out.
To the right, east to the right, east to the right.
1-on-1, 2 rounds.
He's in that room. He's in that room right there.
Shots fired.
I can't see him. He's on the right. I can see something.
4 Tom 101. Here. Shots fired. We're getting shot at. You got that.
We are now going to play BWC footage from an officer who was on the roof of 1288 Mission Street, which shows the suspect discharging a firearm at officers on the roof of 81 9th Street.
Put your guitars.
fired, shots fired.
Shots fired, hold on. We are now going to play an enhanced version of the BWC footage we just viewed, which has also been slowed down. The enhanced version shows the muzzle flash of the suspect's firearm from his apartment.
Shots fired, shots fired.
CSI photos. This photo shows the suspect's Smith & Wesson rifle and magazine unloaded. This photo shows the suspect's Rock Island handgun. This photo shows the suspect's Glock handgun. This photo shows the suspect's Sig Sauer handgun. This photo shows two 40mm foam baton projectiles. This photo shows the department-issued patrol rifle used by the officer in the OIS. This concludes my presentation. I will now introduce the commanding officer of Tenderloin Station, Acting Captain Kevin Noble.
Good afternoon. I am Acting Captain Kevin Noble of Tenderloin Police Station. Tenderloin Station officers were the first to respond to this incident. Since this incident occurred, I have been in touch with our city leaders and community partners to keep them updated and address any concerns. I've expressed this was an isolated incident and there is no further public safety concern. As we move forward, I will continue to make myself available to our neighborhood partners and the community and will continue to address any questions or concerns they have. For those who have further questions and concerns, you can contact me at Tenderloin Station. I also invite you to attend Tenderloin Station's next community meeting that will be held Tuesday, February 25th at 6 p.m., where we can listen and discuss this incident or other matters of concern. Thank you.
The public comment portion of this town hall will now begin. The length of time for public comment will be 1 hour. To call into the meeting, please call 1-415-655-0001. Again, the number to call into the meeting is 1-415-655-0001. Please enter access code 2662-336-1254 ##. Each public comment caller will have up to 2 minutes to speak. If you wish to join the queue for public comment, please listen carefully to the following instructions. Interpretation is available in both Spanish and Cantonese. If you are watching on WebEx, you may click the interpretation button and select your preferred language. If you are calling into the meeting, again, please call 1-415-655-0001. Enter access code 2662-336-1254 ##. You may press *3 to raise your hand to get in the queue to speak for public comment. You will be prompted when you have been unmuted and it is your turn to speak. Once again, each caller will have up to 2 minutes to provide public comment for this town hall meeting. Your 2 minutes will begin once you have been prompted that you have been unmuted and you begin speaking. Please be reminded, you must mute the broadcast you are watching in order for your public comment to be heard clearly. Again, if you are watching the broadcast online, please mute the broadcast or turn down the volume to prevent audio feedback so your comment can be heard clearly. Moderators, at this time, I ask that you invite the first caller in to speak. At this time, we have no callers in the queue, and I will reread the instructions. To call into the meeting, please call 1-415-655-0001. Again, the number to call into the meeting is 1-415-655-0001. Please enter access code 2662-336-1254##. Each public comment caller will have up to 2 minutes to speak. If you wish to join the queue for public comment, please listen carefully to the following instructions. Interpretation is available in both Spanish and Cantonese. If you are watching on WebEx, you may click the interpretation button and select your preferred language. If you are calling into the meeting, again, please call 1-415-655-0001. Enter access code 2662-336-1254##. You may press star 3 to raise your hand to get in the queue to speak for public comment. You will be prompted when you have been unmuted and it is your turn to speak. Once again, each caller will have up to 2 minutes to provide public comment for this town hall meeting. Your 2 minutes will begin once you have been prompted that you have been unmuted and you begin speaking. Please be reminded, you must mute the broadcast you are watching in order for your public comment to be heard clearly. Again, if you are watching the broadcast online, please mute the broadcast or turn down the volume to prevent audio feedback so your comment can be heard clearly. At this time, there are no public comment callers in the queue, and we will conclude this town hall meeting.
Okay, I'd like to thank all of our viewers today. We had over 100 viewers, and for all of you that tuned in, thank you for tuning in. As we have said in this town hall, this is about us being as transparent as possible when these types of events happen. So thank you again. Please stay safe and enjoy the rest of your evening.